Hey guys, let's continue our next chapter of basic algebra with exponents or indices. Now, exponents here. Exponents is basically a term that is very similar to repeated multiplication, just like multiplying a number again, again, at any certain number of times. And this will be represented with the number on top of coefficient or value. So for instance, if you had, I'll just show you the visuals of how an exponent looks like. So if you have 8 here and you want to say you want 2 times, so you want 8 to be repeated twice, so that means you put the 2 on top, and that basically shows that it's 8 multiplied by itself again, the same number twice, and that is 64. I'll tell you something else again. If we have let's see, if you have a negative, let's say a negative value, and you're squaring it, so let's put this into our mathematical operation. So that becomes -4 times -4, which gives us positive 16, as the negatives cancel out to make a positive. Now let's look at it through algebra. Now we have x power 4. So this would mean x into x into x into x. There are 4 x's, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This signifies what the value of x power 4 is. Now, there are cases in which you have negative exponent values. So if you have x power -1, this becomes 1 upon x. And I'd recommend you to memorize all of these concepts above, as these concepts will further help you when solving the proper equations or mathematical calculations. So if it's a negative exponent on top, so x power -1, we get the reciprocated answer by saying 1 upon x. If you have x power 4, that simply means that the value of x is multiplied by 4 times of itself. If you have a negative value squared by amount of times. So we always know that a negative and negative always makes a positive. So for instance, if we had -4 cubed, negative, then so if we have negative times negative times negative, so that becomes negative in total, because positive is from negative and negative, and from negative onwards to positive it becomes a negative. Now 8 squared is the same. It was a very simple and basic understanding of how it all starts up. So 8 into 8 is 64, and that is 2 times of the same number again. Now, when it comes to solving equations, they may ask you questions like, what is x squared equal to 9? So what value of x has to be multiplied by itself again to get the value of 9? So this becomes, and just like how we have our basic operations like plus, and this goes to minus, and divide into multiply, we have squared into root. And the same thing. So with this concept here, let's apply it. So we have x squared here. So just to bring x isolated by itself without any interferences like the squared symbol or any coefficient value, we simply have to root our x to get rid of the squared. So we have x squared is equal to 9. So that basically means x is equal to root 9. And root 9 is basically value of 3. And you could say this like by your head, because x squared is equal to 9. So of course x would be 3, because 3 times 3 is equal to 9. Now let's start off with a different example. Let's say x squared is x cubed is equal to 27. Now this is kind of different because we have a different exponent value. Now it's the same way. So you know how we have x cubed is equal to 27. To isolate x, it's just to cube root. It's the same way. So this is called square root. And if we have a cubed value, we have small 3 and our root. And this is called cube root. Now let's apply it. Just to isolate x here, x is equal to the cube root of 27. And the value of x then becomes 3. And you could see this. And this you could check it out on the calculator, as it's a basic mathematical calculation. So what happens here is it's x cubed and getting the value of 3. And we can test it out. So we're getting 3 cubed. And is that equal to 27? So let's just check it out. 3 times 3 times 3 should give us a value of 27. And let's check it out. So this is 9 into 3. Yep, and that's right. It's 27.